Just in time to prevent a failure of the system. We had the intro looped, but we clicked it just in time.
Nick of time.
It is Gray Area Live, episode 40. I can't believe we made it this long, and we have so much further to go with you guys. From
Howdy,
the
gents. How we doing, guys? Who's in the chat? We got Honey Badger,
the usual folks.
We got Tim Kennedy, New Groiper. New Groiper, you've been slacking lately, buddy.
New Groiper
been missing streams,
he's got
huh?
a life. He's got to work. He's got a lot of things that are very important.
Giving you crap. But yeah, it's good to see you guys. I'm sorry. Yesterday, dude, I was so gassed. I do a lot of stuff. I do a lot of stuff outside of this this live streaming, guys. I got businesses I'm running. I got engineering. It stacks up, but I still love this. I still do it for the love of the game. Glad I could join you guys.
Here's the thing. You can say that. I know it's 100% true. It takes a lot of time to get used to doing this frequently, right? Like, it's a very weird thing to be like, okay, I have to prep and know my news information, and then I'm going to go sit down for 3 hours or 2 hours or however long it is, and talk about it, and then still have all my other work stuff that I'm managing on my mind.
Exactly.
So it definitely is a lot, and it definitely helps me to have this place in my house because I'm just so comfortable, right? Like, I'm just sitting in my home at the end of the day. And then, Tim, you're not far away, but you got to make the trip.
I'm like 15 minutes away.
It's still like it's a little mini ordeal.
Yeah, because I have to like cognitively think, okay,
right,
segment prepared. Do we got all these things ready? Good.
And then you were overseas recently.
Yeah.
So it's just been a lot of travel.
It's been a lot of travel too, So I'm good now. We've got a good guest coming on tonight. We've got Aaron Baker, as you guys can see. Glad for anybody who could tune in. And then also we're talking about a lot of things. Senate shutdown. That one, if you guys haven't known, Senate is pushing back on Trump's Venezuela push. So we got a lot of stuff to break down for that. And then
pull.
Yes.
Push-pull war.
Yeah, push-pull.
I don't know what they're pulling with, though. I don't know what they're gonna do to stop him.
War Powers Act. That's what we're gonna do.
I saw that. That's a very big deal.
We've been talking about it.
I'm glad you brought that up. And that's another thing that now, like at Gray Area 40, we've done enough episodes where we can track these stories and kind of see where our predictions landed, right? Like we talked about when would the next conflict break out? We said war. So maybe, Tim, you're still correct because the bet is still on.
You want to know another bet?
Because it's not a war. You understand it. It's just it's an extraction where we take your president, and that's not a war. But what are you going to say?
Next prediction.
World
War III before end of Trump's term.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's like that's not a lot of money on that betting line because that's like a heavy favorite to win. That's a heavy favorite to start. I mean,
all right. So let's say by end of 2027. How does that sound? Not good enough.
Let's see if we can survive this year.
Do you think it's gonna happen this year?
I mean, with everything heating up in the way that it is geopolitically, with the Russians saying they're going to retaliate with missiles, they've just given the Iskander missile to another country.
Oh, yeah.
We got a lot of stories tonight, and there's stuff that, like, I was on X today, and I know Tim was doing deep research. I was just looking through, and I follow a lot of good news accounts, and I saw that story, and I was like, whoa, we got to talk about that.
Yeah. Don't worry, New Gripper. We are going to talk about the George 2.0 stuff.
Yeah, and we gotta deal with that.
We got all this stuff today for you guys, so don't worry. We're going to cover that.
Didn't we? You've seen it, right?
Seen what?
You've seen the footage of the car and the guy.
It could be taken. It can be taken two ways as far as her fleeing or trying to run him over. At first, I thought she was trying to run him over. I'm not going to lie. But then as I saw a different angle of it, it actually looked like she was trying to turn at the last second to escape. And the guy overreacted. Like what would happen if she ran away?
Here's the thing. And I tweeted about it, especially after seeing like some protest footage, which we'll play near the end of the show. You're going to want to stick around to see it. It's pretty crazy. It's some of the craziest political language I've ever seen used. Even that includes 2020 and times before that when it was really
calling for violence,
promoting just really crazy stuff. And we'll get into that. But it's given me vibes I haven't felt in a very long time, like for anything political. And you say George Floyd is an example. I say that this might be the beginning of something far worse, because instead of it being a police crime issue, it's a state versus the people issue. And the Civil War programming is so intense.
It is very much state versus federal.
Yeah.
Right.
So like the people that are in Minnesota or in Minneapolis now, like the stuff they're saying, how politically charged they are, it's very terrifying.
Well, because they're trying to get behind the governor, because Waltz is basically making a hard stand, and these people trust their governor, so they're just kind of like, okay, no matter what happens, we know our governor's got our back.
And I felt bad about it because, like, I've seen the video. It's very ambiguous as to what actually happens, because you see the front angle and then you see another angle, and you can see in the video that he is at some point, it could be just on the edge of the front bumper, he is at the front of the car, right? So is she rolling forward? Does she put it in drive? Like, if she's coming at him, like, do you shoot in that scenario? I think if you're a trained law enforcement person that's like trigger happy because you've been in prior situations, I think that you might. It's a nasty situation. It's exactly the opposite of what, like, of what.
I'll be honest. He could have not shot. Here's the thing: even if you shoot a person, that doesn't mean the car would stop, right? Like it doesn't. It's not like a 1-for-1 action. Like she could still have her foot on the pedal.
Might make it worse.
Yeah, it might make it worse. You're right. Like a reaction to where like you got shot and you actually press harder on the pedal. He could have just walked. He could have just walked away. Or just jump back and let it happen.
I don't know. And that thing about he could have just walked away, that is why I'm not condemning the action immediately. It's because I need to see more video of it, because I don't know. He is on the front of the vehicle. Like, I don't know how fast she accelerated. Like, if it went like 0 to like 15 really fast, that could be fucking terrifying, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, she was being violent and sporadic. But like what I'm saying is like
it's horrible.
The last case scenario is like the nuclear option is you like actually shoot through the window, and you know what? There's nuance.
Excessive force, perhaps, or something like that.
They won't rule it excessive force. Well, he has enough.
I mean, he would get a pardon anyway. Like it wouldn't matter.
There's enough meat on the bone for here where he could say this was self-protection.
Mr. Awake, it's not trigger happy. He just got dragged a few months ago. I saw that. Apparently he was dealing with someone else in a vehicle, and he got like wrapped around, or like was like holding on to the car and got dragged through like 300
Oh,
feet.
that was him?
Yeah, that was the same guy.
Oh, well, that puts a
like a little
context.
PTSD.
Yeah, a little PTSD.
And then these things kind of snowball. And that's the thing, is like, this is why we have the gray area, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of factors going into the one thing. It's not just.
That's a good point, Mr. Wake.
Yeah, thank you for that. Good point. And like, when you look at everything, you're just like, man, situations suck. And this situation especially sucks because it's going to be turned into another thing.
Well, why it's worse this time is you've got not just this happening, but it feels like everything's on fire in America. So it's like, to your point,
people are doing worse. Things are more expensive.
Yeah, because back when George Floyd happened, people still had money in their pocket, and like there was some sense of like normality that was happening besides COVID, of course. But like there was enough.
And people are less scared to be around each other now. Because the COVID era is kind of over, right? So you see these kind of like mass protests or riots or gatherings or whatever you're going to call them, right? In whatever various scenario.
33 stitches, damn.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a civilian. I'm not a cop. Ultimately, I wasn't there, and the video is very.
I've talked to a lot of cops before. Like a lot of these things come down to like high stress, high adrenaline,
right?
Like, kind of gut reaction takes. And if he's gone through something before, okay, now I have a little bit more context, but it doesn't mean like I'm gonna sit there and be like, well, that's the right call.
Well, the thing is, ultimately, is there was a homicide, right? And someone died. Now, is it a justifiable homicide or is it not? And I look at it as like, I don't like ICE. Like, I understand the job they have to do, right? And like, I'm not for people being here illegally, and like they should be back home, in my opinion. But at the same time, ICE was created in 2003. And it was created to coincide with the Patriot Act and a whole bunch of other nasty stuff that Bush got through. Yeah. So when you look at that, I mean, it's just.
But it's more so like, I didn't look, this was one of the issues I voted for, right? Like, I was like, okay, 20 million illegals, whatever the number was. I was like, Biden, Kamala, you're not doing shit. Like, Kamala's at the border and she's like, come on in. And you're just like,
well,
okay,
they're wearing
fine.
the Biden shirt.
Right. Really, so that part I voted, but what I didn't vote for was, to just let the dog off the chain. Like, you still have to put up some bumper guards and some specific
some guardrails
in order to tell people what they should and shouldn't be doing. And I think right now, because Trump is doing so much, he kind of just said like, hey, go at it. And there's like not as much structure to how they're going about this. And when I saw the circumstances where they were like taking people who were like American citizens and like they didn't really like it, just like, are you guys thinking about how you guys are going to go in here and like confiscate people? And like, do you have a strategy? Because like I have seen stuff and articles.
We're sorry, we made a mistake. Like after like
they do it, like where they're literally going into these places and like instead of knowing who they're going for, they're like, oh, he looks Mexican, go get him. And it's like, wait. That's not the point of ICE. The point of ICE is like, you should have a list. You should know what these people look like for the most part. And then you strategically go in and target those people.
Even more than that, it's less deportations than Obama. It's less. It's not more. And like they've made claims about 2 million and all this XYZ. Look at the actual numbers. It's smaller than that.
Yeah, that's exaggerated.
And to do all this in this grotesque way where you're using essentially like it's a state police force, right? It's military police. And you're using them in a way to where it's just, if you were coming at it from a pure heart of like being like, we're going to do this and we're going to do this in a way as to where no one can misconstrue what we're doing, you would do it another way versus the way they do it.
So the first thing you would do, right? And this is what I was thinking about. Right. Like, they haven't caught all the people who are like actually doing the crime and the criminals. Like, that was the low hanging fruit that like, we have pictures of these people. We have records of these people that got put in jail and then let go. Like, all those people haven't been caught. And had you actually gone after the people that were doing the bad shit, we would have had a situation where maybe, this woman wouldn't have gone out there trying to protest. Cause it's like, what are you going to defend a criminal?
Well, like, and yeah, you think about it. So there's ICE operations going on in this town or wherever it is, right? Minneapolis. And she's out there. What's she doing in the middle of the raid? And that they were making the claim of, oh, she was harassing us and like following us with her car or like moving around us in a way. And to be fair, here's the thing. You don't know if she has a gun or not, right? You don't know if she's armed. You don't know what her mentality is.
Yeah, white blonde woman. Probability is pretty low.
Probability is low, but it's still there, you know. And a police officer is trained to where, like, if a person is in a vehicle and they don't know what's in the vehicle,
right,
they're going to be jumpy around them. But I don't know. I have a hard time saying it was justified. I'm still forming my opinion on it. I don't know. I really like. You don't have to be solidified about everything.
Yeah, all I'm saying is all of this could have been prevented.
I agree.
Had you strategically picked out the exact group of people that you wanted to go after. Where these people are now protesting and why you're seeing all the craziness is because you're like grabbing like the single mother of 3 who she might be illegal but has been doing nothing, and you've gone after her. Now, I'm not sitting here saying like, oh, you know, we shouldn't be like putting people to where they have to like restart in the line and come legally, but like that's the last person you need to go after.
I got a thought. So we both voted for Trump, right?
Yeah.
And we were both like decently happy with the prospect of doing it, right? We were like, yeah, he's probably going to do something good, right, for the country. That's why we voted for Trump.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
So when we voted for Trump and we wanted him to implement his agenda, did we want through his actions for him to make possible everything like the opposite of what he said he was going to do? Because this is it, right? Because the reaction to this is going to be a left-wing surge that'll overtake the country.
100%.
And like, why would you behave this way? Why would you have officers that are willing to just leap on someone and kill them this fast? Because they've been told, like, we're carrying out like the most important operation in American history. We got to get 30 million people out. You have authorization to do whatever you want. Ultimately, if you're not restrained and do things super perfect and take the high road in every situation, everything you do, even if it is legitimate, even if you are like, even if someone is trying to run you over, it's going to be used as fuel against you. And they're going to lose the midterms in 2028 because of it. Because the young people, the people we know, are friends that are not, you know, like, they're just like, they're low propensity voters. Like, they don't have a lot of info.
Yeah, dude,
they see this and they're like, fuck this.
100%. And right? It's like, I hoop at LA Fitness with some illegals, you know, they're like construction workers. Fine. All right. But like you're talking about, yeah, I mean, if he made the right choice on all of these different things, yeah, he's giving the left more ammo. And then you're going to look at, he's like, if I lose midterms, I'm going to get impeached.
Well,
I'm going to get impeached, guys. You got to protect me.
That's what he said. And the thing is, all these stories, the Minneapolis thing, the Venezuela thing, even to an extent, the wars, although the Ukrainian war, because of the nuclear threat, is very legitimate, it's all slop. Where are the Epstein files? Where's everything that we were promised?
I told you this. I remember this before. I was like, look, all they got to do is either A, hold on long enough for this to get shut down, or enough things come up that it's just a distraction and we all forget about it. Look, we're all goldfish, guys. We forgot. I even forgot.
Right.
I was like, wait, Venezuela, yeah, riots, yeah, news cycle, and then Epstein, nowhere to be found. You're right. So what do you got on the list for this first thing?
If you want to go down, are we still waiting for our guest? Let's go over that really quick. We're going to have Aaron Baker join us. He's running against Randy Fine, the biggest Zionist in Congress. Literally,
he showed me some of the tweets. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, you know, we can go ahead and look at that. I think that might be fun to look at before we have the guy on. So I'm going to go ahead and share screen. Go ahead and present the entire screen. So we got this series of gems from Randy Fine. Palestinian is just another word for demon.
It's crazy.
It's wild. Some would call that racist, right? I think you might call that
just a tad.
Racial remark.
Just a tad.
Tell your fellow Muslim terrorists to release the hostages and surrender. Until then, hashtag starve away. War crime. You are not allowed to use food as a weapon against people. None. May the streets of Gaza run red with their blood. He also called for Gaza to be nuked. You can argue if that's satirical or not, or whatever you want to say, but he did say it. And the point is, if this was a bloodthirsty Israeli, like far-right politician that was in power somehow over there, he can say it, fine, whatever. It's not our government. This is a U.S. congressman, right? And like, people are going to vote for this guy, and this guy's going to smile and tell people he cares about, like, American values and humanity. And ultimately, like, this is the most racist stuff I've ever seen, perhaps aside from the Minneapolis clips, which are pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, this guy is just trying to appeal to his base. He's just trying to appeal to whoever's in the dark shadows that he's got to, you know, be buddy to in order to.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's even that. Like, he was like, he's proud. He was like proud to join AIPAC. He's like, they already had me for free. That's what he said. So like he's doing it. Dude. We talk about love of the game. He's truly doing it.
And people vote for him. People will vote for him again just because, you know, he's known, right? But I really hope Aaron Baker gets his fair shot and that people, you know, get to hear his message because he's kind of a grassroots guy. You know, he's trying to push his.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I think it's really fun to have all these grassroots candidates on. I think we need to do more of that. Right.
Yeah, because everyone's platforming the big guys who are already there. We already kind of know what those dudes stand for. They're already bought off. They're already part of the system.
Who they're paid by.
They're already part of the system. So we want people that are not part of the system because that's the only way that, you know, things can potentially change is you've got the new guy in town who knows what it's like on the ground. And I really hope to ask him some questions because I'm sure he's experienced some of these things before he's, you know, running for his campaign right now.
Yeah, you know, it's got to be interesting, especially, you know, with the goal of an operation, just to get like notice, number one, and to get up in the arena with everyone. You've got to do so much legwork. You've got to let so many people know about you. You got to file and do so many things to even begin the process. It really is like an upheaval of your life to do it, right?
Yep. And it's not cheap.
No,
definitely not.
No, it's not cheap. So when you look at someone doing this, especially someone like him who's a small business owner, this comes like from an enormous commitment, right? And it's a commitment to the people. Like, and that's what we're going to talk to him about is how he feels about these things, how he feels about who's currently in the seat right now.
Yeah,
that's a big deal. I don't think he's happy about who's in the seat. And I don't think the constituents are happy about who's in the seat. I think that's what gives him a chance.
Yep.
Right.
No, you're right.
Very, very interesting. We got a lot of news as well.
Yeah, I'll say we got some time. Let's just go through some of these first things that you pulled up because he probably will come on probably like 5 minutes before 8.
All right, I'm gonna save some of the crazy clips for later.
For later.
But all right, so this guy, we're actually having this guy on Sunday, Suleiman Ahmed, however you say it, breaking ICE assault the U.S. citizen outside a high school. They're seen pepper spraying students. You got kind of a mob here. Gonna mute that.
Damn.
Wow. So
send the mob.
No context.
Send the mob.
There's no context to any of this, and
that's the problem with a lot of these stories is you don't know what happened prior to lead up to it. Right. That's why I can't sit there and be like defund the police. You know,
right.
Like I've seen that narrative before where they're like, that's the solution. It's not the solution. You have to just have a better idea of like what they are supposed to do and what they're not supposed to do.
And then look at this slop though, before we even look at the video, like read the title, bro.
Holy crap. Some bozo just threw an object at ICE in Minneapolis.
Whoa.
And Asians bolted after him like freaking linebackers, tackling the assailant 75 yards away.
It's pretty clear DEI is not too prevalent inside ICE and Border Patrol. Oh, they're so tough and cool. And it's just like
why do we have to love ideology?
Like, why do we have to worship law enforcement? Number one. And then like it's just I don't like
the
yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
Man.
Dude almost ate shit. His ass is out.
That happens.
Is this a white guy or this is
illegal?
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah. Can you pull his pants up at least?
So we got to pull your pants down further to secure you, sir.
We just need to check something real quick.
Yeah, you got any weapons concealed? Man. All right, Rip Bozo.
We're just gonna perform this colonoscopy real quick.
Yeah. It's a minor operation, sir. It's not a big deal. It's for your own safety.
Hold still.
And then we got this, which we were talking about. Russia supplies Iran with Iskander missiles capable of carrying nuclear warheads. And in regard to their other missile, the Oreshnik missile, I saw footage of that being used near the Polish border, like in Ukraine, but near the Polish border.
Mm-hmm.
So they're striking back, and I think we're about to see some real escalation in response to the Venezuela operation, right? Because they look at that and they say, okay, you're going to do what you're going to do in your backyard. We're going to do what we want to do in ours.
Wow. You know, but they're not going to provide them that many. Do you know how many? There's definitely not a crap ton of units.
Dude, there's like a biting fly in here.
I know. He's just all over the place right now.
It's awful.
You know, we're pretty good at taking these things out. If you didn't know.
I don't know about that. I don't know about
well,
that.
Here's the thing. Our stealth fighters are so good. I actually did a thread this morning showing the F-35. The F-35 our stealth technology is so good on our weapons that we literally do not tell anybody. It's like super top secret because of how the radars work and how they bounce off. Like Venezuela got some air defense. No, it's probably not as advanced as this guy.
But that's pretty nuts, right?
But it's still like we went through it and cut it through like butter. And Iran still had their own set of defense missiles that we took out easily before we bombed with the Spirit bombers, right?
We nearly ran out of THAAD missile batteries, and the cost ratio between what they spent attacking us versus what we spent defending Israel was so much higher.
On which situation?
I'm talking about the Iran-Israel war, the 12-day war, as it's called.
Oh, when they overwhelmed the system and they launched their own missiles back. And
well, I mean, they have to discount their missile technology. I think that this is a mistake, and
it's more so defense, not attack. Well, I think attack they could do a lot of damage.
Okay, all right. You're just saying you think that they could blow them up.
Oh, on the ground. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you think Iran's defenses are not that strong, even with this, is what I'm trying to say. But it doesn't mean that they can't send 5,000 missiles into Jerusalem and blow up everything.
All right. I've heard good things, and that's why our guest Suleiman, if I'm saying his name right, that's why it's going to be phenomenal to have him on.
That Rupert?
Yeah.
God,
oh man.
God.
Oh, dude,
Rupert.
That's bad.
That's bad. Damn.
The dog just farted, and there's like no ventilation in here.
No.
Oh man.
None whatsoever. I'm just sitting here.
Dude, we need to get like an emergency fan. Fuck. Oh. It's so bad, guys. But we do the show because we love you, and we appreciate y'all for being here.
I should have.
I'm tired.
The dog cam up.
I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie. I'm real tired tonight.
You're good, bro. We're locked in.
Yeah, we're gonna go through exciting.
He is not a good boy.
Aaron Baker. Oh, he's
not a good boy.
I know what he did. Okay, so I had a trash bag, right, and it was full, and I took it outside. And I was waiting. I had taken the bins out yesterday, and I took out the trash recycling at the same time. The trash pickup had come earlier, so the trash thing was still full, and they took my recycling and emptied it out, and I didn't think there was room for the bag. So I left it out there next to the trash thing, and then he got out there and got into it. That's French fries.
Must have ate something.
That's French fries.
I can smell it.
It's French fries, and that's fried chicken, ladies and gentlemen. It's really bad, but it's going away now. We're all right. Let's be professional and stay focused. Be very professional. This is a very professional show. President Trump said his plans to revoke citizenship for naturalized Americans beyond just Somalia if they are found to have been dishonest or involved in fraud.
That makes sense. I'm not going to be like,
look, I went to an island. It was not good. Believe you tried to operate a center and you didn't even have to. There.
Wait, are they trying to revoke people who have been born here? Because that's you can't do.
No,
that. It's just naturalized. Yeah, so that means they've went through the process. Right. Okay, I can get behind. If you're committing crime, you should not be allowed to basically get away with it and then get the benefits. But who am I to talk?
Right. You're right about Brave Browser. We'll switch to that. I wanted to do that for a while. We're just operating today, and then 2 people got shot by a CBP agent. What is that? ICE or something like that?
I think so. I don't know.
Sources tell ABC News that federal agents have shot 2 people in Portland, Oregon. David, following that story as well, Wick Johnson, thank you. There's also and David tonight.
What do you know about this?
ABC News that federal agents have shot
nothing. It's very recent. This dropped at 6:12, so like a little over an hour and a half before we started filming. That fly, man, good grief! Like Rupert brought a horse fly into the house. It's not a horse fly, but whatever it is.
Okay, so.
Are we ready for our guest to join us?
He's not on yet. I'll tell him he can join whenever.
That's yours over here. I want to play this thing, but it's so crazy. There's so much meat on the bone that like I don't want to get into a topic and then have the guest on, So,
I mean, he's not going to come for 15 minutes. We could get it through it, to be honest.
All right, we can start it, and I want to talk about it later. We'll come back to it. this is the kind of response you're seeing because of that action. Everyone's like, yeah, well, she was in front of the car and she had to get shot because Merca.
She fucked around and found out.
And like, yeah, I get it. Legal justification, operation, whatever. The optics of it and everything in the modern environment, it's creating the movie, and it's really bad. This reminds me of stuff from The Boys from season 4, but much, much, much darker. And this is the craziest political and racial language I've heard used in a very long time. Christy Nome will hang.
Wow. Kill and ice. That's what they're saying. Kill and ice.
Save a life, kill and ice.
Oh, he's got everything written down.
Yeah. And
who is this guy?
This is CIA ass shit.
So say, yeah, who is this guy? Is he Antifa? What's going on here?
And that was literally my meta point to make about all this. Is like this is a CIA psychological warfare civil war operation on both sides, in my opinion. That's what I'm taking from all of this. It's like engineered. It's too perfect.
Yeah.
You don't gotta change it if you ain't ready. But some of us are pissed off, aren't we? I dedicate that one to Renee Good. When I say Renee Nicole Good, you say presente. Renee Nicole Good. Renee Nicole Good. We are going to say that. If I may, let us not say her name.
This is crazy.
Because say her name is for members of marginalized communities that are forgotten.
Thank you. I'm a Breonna Taylor.
That is so insane. Oh, okay, and like that's a racial movement. That's a racial. We use a different phrase for you because you're different, and you're good. You're a good ally. You're good boy, good race trader, as they go on to say. And we're gonna play the clip.
You martyred for our cause.
Like it's man. Like I think the CIA did this, bro. That's my that's what I think about all this, and everyone thinking like, oh, like he's against ICE or whatever. Like,
but
no. I think like the administration, all of it is a giant game.
Here's the thing, though. If he did use the phrase "say her name," like he didn't have to do all that. But if he used the word "say her name," the amount of people in the black community would hang this dude.
Well, and that's also bad. I would say that's bad on the black community, because "say her name" should be a thing of like anyone fighting for the cause of quote unquote liberation. If it is a civil rights movement, meaning civil rights for everyone, so we're making it exclusively racial. There's tiers of sainthood.
No, this
instead
is
of
like
just being a good person.
This is the reverse racism that I talked about.
But it's not real.
That I
it's
can't
just racism.
get behind.
It's all the same.
She has achieved the highest honor a white person can achieve. Race traitor.
Not gonna have a good response from this. I'll tell you, it's not gonna go well.
She is now bestowed the honor of accomplice.
The honor of accomplice. So we're in a Joker Batman movie basically now. It's literally Gotham City terrorism, like brought on by an overzealous government,
pretty much
enraged and high on its own power.
No other way to spin that.
Right. It really is nuts.
We're not good. A quick note about Minneapolis. Hey, how many of you know that Hilton hotels have contracts with ICE? Did y'all know that a Hilton hotel in Minneapolis kicked out ICE lights from its hotel.
So that I live so far away from these people.
Kick that hotel out of the chains. Corporations must be held accountable for their collaboration. Corporations must be held accountable for their collaboration. That's right. Remember that.
So, do they have a right to be here? Do they have a right to be here?
I just had a Doctor Strange moment.
Yeah, lay it on us.
I just had a Doctor Strange moment in which I just like withdrew from my body and just looked at this whole scenario from the bird's eye view. And I'm just like sitting here like this, right? So with this scenario, when I was back in New York when January 6th happened,
right?
Everybody who saw that situation and saw all the speeches and stuff like that felt the exact same way as I know a lot of people who are watching this stuff happen. It's almost like deja vu, but just like a different world.
That's the thing, and that's exactly what I'm saying. I totally agree with you. Is like we're like it's literally you like a song and a script for either side.
Yeah,
that you're gonna do,
and then this is how those negative feedback loops start that I was talking about.
Right.
Like I can't even sit there and say, oh, J6 started it. It wasn't, and I can't even say the Democrats started it. Like I don't know where the origin is, but each side sees these things and they get super pissed off because they don't have a right to say that. They shouldn't be gathering like this. And then like the Democrats at that point were like, dude, they were calling every white guy they're racist. They were like, oh, they're trying to take the Capitol. They're trying to overthrow democracy. And there was a lot of that stuff.
Here's my thing. I find the idea of a collective of like, I forget what Obama called it or whatever, but you get like, it's like the diverse coalition where you have like the different minority groups and whatnot. In the idea is like the white man, the evil white man does the oppression and the patriarchy, right, to all those groups. And then those groups love each other and are unified against the evil white man, and that's how we win elections, right? But when you look at it and you look at the groups themselves don't really like each other, right? And like this guy right here, like this is a Hispanic man. This is a Hispanic individual. Hispanic people that are like racially charged and like the La Raza stuff and talk about like the Reconquista of like the southern part of the U.S. Have you ever seen this?
A little bit.
So like black people, or if you're like someone in like the movement like Dr. Umar, like you'd argue like for reparations, right? Or for like, slavery damages.
Yeah.
Each one of these groups has a different motivation. You see what I'm saying? For like the kind of like racial equity or justice they're talking about. Because he's not just talking about this guy and the thing.
You'd be surprised.
He's not.
I'm gonna be honest. Like I've lived in that world as well. Like it's actually more overlapping than there's the differences to actually argue over. They look at, okay, this is how it works. Because I think I'm qualified to speak about this, given that I have a lot of family, friends, been in that ecosystem. It's almost like just like we allow Mexicans and like Hispanic people to say the N-word because like they like almost associate them together as minorities. Like the offense doesn't come there until the white guy comes in. So I think that's situational, man. No, I know, but they found the common enemy, right? Like that's what ended up happening. They made the affluent, the guy who's in power situation become like the spearhead of like the main issue about racism. Mean? So like everything that goes on in these debates, whether it's a minority, like Hispanic or black, it's all about like we got marginalized from the white man. That's the main way, and they don't really spin it any other way.
Right, but if you look at crime statistics, if you look at how these groups interact with each other, like I'll give you a great example when I talk about a coalition. And it's very interesting that they didn't refer to her and give her the say her name distinction because she was gay. She was a gay woman, right? And her background is irrelevant to what happened. But no, listen to me. Listen to me here. This is real. She was a gay woman. She's part of an identity group, but that doesn't grant her the status of being in that coalition.
I know what you're saying, but I have to push back just on that. It's not for these guys in the Hispanic community. They're not like, okay, specifically in the Democrat, they actually do support the LGBTQ stuff.
Bro, I've been around Mexicans my whole fucking life.
I have
life. I've known plenty of vatos.
Well, here though, specifically in Texas, there's the.
Well, you're talking about Connecticut, New York. It's the country. They're
what I'm saying.
Beliefs.
But I'm saying
the fly is bad.
I'm saying in the East Coast, the Mexicans that exist there do not think the same way as here in red states. Is what I'm telling you. So yeah, that could be a representation.
He didn't include her anyway. My point is that this is a racial movement. This is not a political movement, because the political platform is DEI. We're all together. That's the Democratic
Party
platform.
And that's what I was trying to tell you. I was like, that's where they find common ground. If you're talking about like the Hispanic who's like a little bit more red or conservative, and not even just that, but like,
okay,
they're gonna have that thing about the gay people because that's just how.
I don't know. But you know, hey, it's very interesting. It's a very charged political movement. We're going to watch it develop on into the future. Is our guest ready? Are we coming up on that? We're 3 minutes away from 8. So our guest should be ready, and then we'll get into your report, and then we'll be over for tonight. It's going to be a quick stream, but we're going to do a great interview. So stay tuned, and we really appreciate all of y'all being here with us tonight. It's going to be an exciting year for Gray Area. Keep in mind, Gray Area is live Monday through Friday now. I'm doing a Monday show and a Friday show solo by myself. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's me and Tim. And then it's me and Tim again on Sunday, where we do a longer show with an interview.
Backstage. No,
he's not. All right. You want to take the things for a little bit?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to try to figure this out. We got Aaron Baker joining us. Just the way those links are, they're cursed. I don't trust them, you know?
Oh, we made a new one. That's interesting. Or depending on which studio we jumped into, actually determine.
That makes sense. I probably didn't select the right studio.
Yeah.
That's what it was. You sent him a link to the Gray Area. I probably just created a live. But we're fixing this now. It's going to be interesting. I want to hear from this guy, you know, and thinking about it, like from the Southern perspective, thinking about Florida in contrast with Texas. These are two places that I've always found to be like the people are somewhat similar that live in those places, as in they're very proud of their state and they're very relaxed in their state. Like if you're a Floridian, you're likely to stay a Floridian. If you're a Texan, you're likely to stay a Texan and not move. And there's a lot of that pride there. And I wonder what his theory is on Randy Fine, how much he actually cares about Florida. And I want to hear how much this guy cares about his home state.
Okay, he's looking on X. He'll be on very shortly.
We're about to have him join us. Call-in show tomorrow. I've got spicy takes. We're gonna Sunday. We got to do a longer show, and you know, it is Thursday, isn't it? So yeah, I'll show tomorrow. We'll do that. I'm unsure of the time that I'm going to set lives. I don't know what it is. I think it might be earlier or a little bit. Might start at 5:30 or start at around 9. So figuring that out.
All right. So
are you ready?
He should have got one.
Yeah.
From Gray Area.
I'll stop badgering.
Your mic is cutting in and out.
Yeah, I know. It's a problem. We got to get it fixed.
You just have to angle it.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that. I got to not talk into it too much where it doesn't actually capture it.
Okay, so Gray Area X.
He entered the studio.
Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and add our guest to stage.
Gentlemen.
Hey, Aaron.
Let me fix my... sorry.
Oh, we just saw you. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Adjusting his stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
Can you hear us all right?
I can.
Awesome. Good to have you on the show, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Gray Area. It's fascinating. You're running against the biggest Zionist in Congress, Randy Fine. How's that going, and what's that like?
It's very interesting. You never know what Mr. Fine is going to say from one day to the next. One day he may literally want to nuke Gaza. And the next day they may give him his medication and he may come back to this planet. But I mean, to your point, you never know what a completely unhinged congressman is going to come up with from day to day.
100%.
Right. And what really inspired you to get involved in the race? Was it trying to get him out of that seat? Because I assume you care a lot about the district that it's in.
Well, if you're not familiar, I ran in the special election back in January of last year.
Okay.
After Congressman Waltz
Yes.
was originally the national security advisor, now the UN ambassador. At that point, I had a group of Republicans approach me, and they're like, "Aaron, this guy is horrible." And I'm like, "Oh, it can't be that bad. He's a Republican, right?" And turns out not all Republicans are created equal.
Right.
I mean, if you Google what he's best known for, before he was in the U.S. House, he's known as the bully of Brevard, which is the county that he lives in. And I mean, you Google the bully of Brevard, and it says Randy Fine.
What does it mean for him to be a bully? Was he just going around just like taking control of everything, having his way within his jurisdiction?
Absolutely. So, well, let me give you a couple of examples. When he was in the State House in Florida, he withheld funding from the Brevard Zoo, which was about $2 million, because they wouldn't have a political fundraiser at the zoo for him.
Petty.
Yeah, and it's just a laundry list. When he had a Zoom court appearance, he gave the judge the middle finger, was held in contempt of court, calling a school board member WHORE. The list went on and on and on when he was in the Florida State House, and I was told they were never as happy the day that he left Tallahassee as that was the happiest day of their life when Randy Fine left Tallahassee.
Wow. And he's had quite a large influence in congressional politics, at least in the, he's part of that coalition of people that aren't afraid to speak their mind about what they really want,
Sure.
a war.
So I got a question for you, Aaron. So I know you're kind of running as an average citizen, kind of stepping up against this Congress, against this Congress machine. And why should voters trust you? To deliver beyond the speeches? Like, what do you feel like you bring to the table as a candidate, as an alternative?
Real firsthand knowledge of the district. I am out in the district every single day. Today was one of the very few days that I didn't have an event scheduled. So I'm out with the people every single day. I'm a general contractor here. I understand day-to-day life. I understand when I go to the Circle K on the corner and fuel up. Yes, I have a business card that I can use, but I look and see how much gas the person in front of me purchased. And so often you'll see that's, $5, $10. That's hardworking Americans struggling to get back and forth to work every day. And that's really something that we've lost in the United States, is our congressional representation does not understand how average citizens live.
Right.
I agree with that.
Right. And getting into Congress, both for your district, for your state, and for the country, what are issues that you're passionate about? What do you want to change?
Well, in Florida, we're very passionate about the environment. It seems weird to some people as Republicans, but I mean, we want the cleanest air and the cleanest water that we can possibly get.
Right.
One thing that I would really like to focus on is infrastructure. I want to stop spending money in every other country on the planet and spend money here. It doesn't seem like rocket science, but anymore it really is.
Right.
And I just don't get it. Florida has been overdeveloped to the point where there are areas of this congressional district where if it rains more than 1.5 inches, it's flooded. And what they've done is, originally all these houses were built on grade, and now the new houses are building 18 inches higher. So what happens? All the older houses flood and all the newer houses don't flood. So we have a lot of flooding and infrastructure issues that we really need to address. on the agriculture level, over the past 25 years, we've lost about 91% of our orange groves in the state of Florida.
Wow.
Everybody always thinks Florida.
That's kind of what everything Florida's known for is oranges.
I mean, it's one of the things I think of.
And it's really slowly disappearing. I mean, my great grandparents used to own orange groves on US 27 between Haines City and Dundee. And the last time I drove down there, I mean, now it's a Chick-fil-A and a shopping center and, a Marshall's and a TJ Maxx and, 27 different restaurants and, medical marijuana shop and, all this stuff that it's not true.
Deindustrialization. Yeah. Deindustrialization. And I like that's something that we have a big problem with and something that we looked at when Trump came into office. We both voted for him. And then you look at the tariffs and what's been done overseas, and people can say like it's a knee-jerk reaction. It's too much. And we do criticize it, to be fair, but like something has to be done because there's no industry being built here, or at least there hasn't been recently. And it's just been disintegrating what little we had. What are your thoughts?
You're 100% correct. So when I'm in Flagler County, which is like Flagler Beach, Palm Coast, so kind of a little bit of the northern part of the district from where I live. The last time I was there, or not the last time, but a couple times ago, I had a kid walk up to me and he's like, "Aaron, I'm out of high school. What am I supposed to do here? There's no long-term industry." There's some family-owned businesses, but we're so close to the Space Coast. We have all of the infrastructure in place as far as the railways to be able to transport material back and forth. It's really something that we need a representative in Congress that understands that and can really take that to the next level of saying, okay, we're just north of the Space Coast. What industry can we bring here that's going to be able to help the next generation stay here?
So, not to pivot, but I think I've seen you run a lot on this American First policy, just like kind of Fishback has been doing. And when you say America First, what does that look like to you? Day to day. When you're governing, like what should voters expect you to prioritize in your first year? That like if you were to get elected.
American policy. What do we want in this country? What's one of our biggest concerns in the state of Florida? Energy cost. So how does that translate to America First? Well, over the next 4 years, based on the current trajectory, Floridians are going to pay about 40% more for electric cost. So what I would like to do is use the technology that we currently have, clean coal, natural gas, and the turbines are already built where we can produce energy in the next 2, 3, 4 years to be able to make up that gap so that we don't have those increases. We're already going to have 20, 30%, but we need to head that off to before we get to the point of Europe, where energy cost is the dominant question on everyone's mind. We don't want to get there in Florida because it's too darn hot here in the summer.
Right. So, we understand. We get that. It gets real hot here as well.
And the grid can't even keep up.
No. And that especially ERCOT is like widely hated in Texas because of all the grid failures and issues during winter storms and other such like high wind events and whatnot. But for your state specifically, or go ahead, Tim.
I mean, you guys deal with not just that, but you guys deal with things like beach erosion. You've got insurance issues. Something about, I think I saw reading about a terminal. Like, you've got a lot of things going on. And if you were to pick a specific plan, like how would what federal lever would you use in order to kind of like tackle some of these major issues that are happening, not just around Florida, but
any new bills? Are you going to create some new ones? What are you going to do?
So let me tell you the first thing that I would like to do. I would like to tackle beach erosion. Without our beaches, we don't have tourism in this district. Without tourism, we don't have any of the hospitality stuff. one thing that we could do on a federal level to ensure long-term funding for beach erosion, because, for example, in one of the counties, they they have two options, and they need about $12.3 million a year ongoing to mitigate beach erosion. So they have two options: raise property tax or raise sales tax, and that's it. So it is possible to create a long-term bill uh, to mitigate beach erosion and have the Army Corps of Engineers in charge of that. Uh, that that would really be one of the top priorities that protects our future and also protects our citizens in Florida from higher taxes.
I like that.
How do you feel about foreign war, foreign entanglements? We could look at the Ukraine situation, but first, let's ask you about Venezuela. What are your thoughts on what happened down there?
Well, I mean, I don't think that there's one person on the planet other than Maduro and himself that would argue the point that he was a good person.
Right.
Where you get involved in foreign entanglement was, today the president said, we're going to be there for more than a year. A reporter asked him, are you going to be there 3 months, 6 months, a year? Oh, no, we're going to be there longer than that. That's where I'm not into nation building. We have spent on countless trillions of dollars nation building. I don't believe we're the world's police. Okay.
Yes.
There needs to be a coalition between Central and South American countries. And you have some really strong Central and South American countries.
Like Brazil.
Yeah, like Brazil. I mean, take one of their neighbors and say, okay, how are we going to jointly do this? I'm not for endless nation building. I don't think it accomplishes what we want to accomplish. Basically, at this point in our history, we've spent more on nation building than we have on Social Security, than we have on Medicaid, than we have on Medicare, than we have on veterans issues, than we have on building our military. It's completely unnecessary. Someone asked me the other day, they said, well, 90% of the money that goes to Israel comes back through defense spending in the U.S. To Boeing and other companies. Okay, that's great. I would much rather Boeing build the next generation jet, a copy of the Concorde so we can still travel supersonic, than all of these endless foreign wars. Let's build something that makes Americans proud and not keep blowing things up.
I think that's the key, and I think that's what'll get out there, and I think that's what really move forward into the future is get the Republican Party. Period in my time, I would be independent now, but there's a period I really wanted to like that and lean in that direction, and that was because of the things that Trump ran on, like ending the foreign entanglements, bringing back American manufacturing, doing things for the people. And I think going forward, if you're a Republican candidate and you want to win, you got to be anti-war, and you got to be anti-war vehemently. I mean, this is not a controversial position to say that we shouldn't be funding death or murder anywhere, right?
Right.
We don't need to be running places.
I didn't know it was going to be a controversial position to say, I don't want to kill people.
Right. That's my view. Yeah.
But then they gaslight you and say, well, you hate America because, this is America's agenda and you should just get behind it.
That's right. Get on the team.
You should get on the team and just listen to what we're saying here.
Yeah.
But at some point you have to take the Thomas Massey approach and say, you all need to reread the Constitution.
Yeah.
Right.
Well said.
Right.
Now, I've seen you opposing more funding for Ukraine. But you have, provided unconditional support for Israel, which, what is the rule that explains both? Like, how do you defend it without sounding inconsistent? Because, like, obviously Ukraine is a very big issue, and now Israel is a very big issue at the same time, where people are trying to conflate those two situations.
So I think that you're looking at something that's older. If they had elected me the first time, I wouldn't know all the things that I know now. I wouldn't understand if they had elected me a year ago. I wouldn't understand how bad this one Middle Eastern country is and how genocidal their leaders are, and how they want to kill everybody. So I think that you're looking at a much older foreign policy that was written, and that's not my updated foreign policy. So if you go to my website,
I was gonna say, and like I had that realization as well because I didn't know about any of this stuff, but then you find out about it and you're like, wow.
I mean, you just when you go to church, you're taught that Israel is our greatest ally. That we have to do exactly what the Bible says. Where this is what we're supposed to do, and then you start. I read the Bible, and then I'm like, well, where does it say? These certain passages, and you start looking, and then you can't find them, and you understand that certain things have been twisted to fit a certain narrative, but that's not exactly what the Bible says.
Well said.
Right.
The Bible does not say that we have to support the state of Israel. It doesn't say that.
Right.
And it was more so the Bible was focusing on when Israel was not the power that it is today. It was struggling
and it's not even that. It doesn't even refer to Israel as even the nation specifically. It's referring to Israel as Abraham's seed, right? And then eventually that becomes the church, right? I will make you a father of many nations, not just one, right?
Correct.
So it's a bastardization of the scripture, and it's the Schofield Bible, which came around in the early 20th century. And it's all kind of, it's very sad because like I have boomer grandparents that I love and respect very much, but it's very sad with older people that have been propagandized through this religious system for such a long time to believe in this very weird, like nationalist, but for another country thing that becomes pseudo-religious. It's very weird.
Yeah.
You're 1,000% correct, because a part of this congressional district encompasses the villages. And if you're familiar with the villages in Florida, it's the world's largest retirement community. So you have all of these older boomers, and, they believe that we have to spend all of our money and treasure taking care of a foreign nation. And anyone that's my age, I'm 45, my age or younger, I think we've come to the realization, hey, why do we have homeless veterans on Daytona Beach and we're sending all of our money 6,500 miles away, and it just doesn't stop? It's endless billions and billions and billions of dollars. And it's not just foreign aid. It's the banking system that we've created in the United States. It's the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve just creates money out of thin air. If you look at some of the major banks on January the 1st, the Federal Reserve came up with $105.993 billion to provide liquidity to banks in the United States. Overnight. Where did that come from? It just came out of thin air.
It was a keyboard. They sat there, they typed the numbers in, and they said, here you go. Here's the money.
And that's the thing is we're told as American taxpayers, I think the American taxpayer revenue, I think it's like 4.8 or like 5 trillion, whatever it is. And I think we spent like 6.8 trillion in 2024. I might be right. I might be wrong about those numbers.
Close enough.
Yeah, it's only getting, the gap is widening even now. Right. So they take money and they loan themselves money at interest. And if where do you see, how do we get out of this? How do you want to affect change in the American economy?
In the Federal Reserve.
Yep. And that's a popular position with people. It really is.
Do you see this happening on like a local level? Because on a national level, this is very wide exposed, and it's not anything, that none of us understand at this point, but like local governments and cities, I've heard a lot. I don't know about District 6 specifically, but do you feel like this thing is also happening on a micro level than just a macro level?
Yeah. How is your district suffering because of the overall situation?
Well, the one thing that I don't like is the poverty rate in this congressional district is 3.5 percentage higher than the national average. We're at 14.6 versus national average is 11.1. So we have a higher poverty rate. We still have inflation. I don't care what Washington tells us. I go to the grocery store. I have one rescue dog. So I buy dog food, I buy dog treats. They can tell us that things are getting cheaper, but we're the ones that actually have to take our cash to the grocery store and pay for it. And it's the biggest bunch of horse hockey that you've ever heard in your life.
Right.
You know, you can't continue just to tell us the sky is green and we look up and the sky is blue. We're like, okay.
Right.
You know, at some point we have to stop. We have to stop the cycle of electing such entrenched special interest people. Um, and it's, you know, it's, there are congressional candidates in Florida that now we're fighting with the Republican Party of Florida because they don't even want to let us come speak at their meetings. And
That's
it's
insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's at some point, one of the things that we have to fix is campaign finance. You know, there's too much money in politics. I believe personally that every U.S. individual, not corporation, but individual, should be able to contribute $100 per month to whatever congressional or whatever candidate that they want to contribute. But no individual should be able to contribute, you know, this endless supply of money.
Right.
You know, one very famous lady that we all know who we're talking about. She told President Trump that she would give him $250 million if he wanted to run for a third term.
Miss
Well,
Edelson, yes.
Yeah, that's insane.
You know, fun fact, she was born in Palestine. Completely beside the point, but true. Just too much money in politics. You know.
Now I have a question based off of that because you know you're running against Fine, and he obviously has these giant lobbies and PACs and money offers that are going to him, and he's
literally engorged by them.
he's well funded.
Absorb them.
And you're kind of starting this grassroots. Like if you started getting bigger money offers from like PACs, lobby groups, so on, so-called dark money or allies, what do you refuse and what do you accept?
Well, number one rule, I won't take any foreign money. I will not take anything that I consider foreign money. And I consider APAC, I believe that APAC should be registered under FARHA. If you look at US Code 601, it says in black and white, I actually have it right here. Let me read you the exact verbiage from US Code 601.
Absolutely. Pulling out the book.
Well prepared.
And this is a thing we discover with independent candidates like you, like with Fishback, or really not independent Republican, but running like a more grassroots style campaign. You guys are the most prepared. You guys are the most knowledgeable, most on the ball, because you have to be.
Yeah.
So you have to compete.
So US Code 601 in 611 definitions, it says engages within the United States in political activities for or in the interest of such foreign principle. So everyone has always said in the past that, oh, well, APAC doesn't need to register as a foreign lobby because it's American money. I don't give a flying frick if the money came from the moon or if the money came from U.S. citizens. It is a 100% fact that they engage within the United States in political activities for or in the interest of a foreign principle.
100%. I don't think like it's literally they got the flag and everything. And it's crazy to see a congressman like Randy Fine, where if you go to his congressional office, he's got the American flag and then he's got the Israel flag.
He's bought out for sure.
Conflict of interest.
It's so many of them. It's not just one, or it's not 10. It's hundreds of them. I mean, you have a much easier time counting the I think so. Out of 535 members of the House and Senate, I think you have it's like 492 take money from
no way
from APAC.
That's insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a crazy number, and you're like, how did our government get to this point where we continue to do this? And if you look at it from a different point of view, So over the last 40 years, if you take every dollar that the Israeli lobby has spent in the United States, they have a return rate of 1,000 to 1. They get back $1,000 for every dollar that they spend.
I believe it. I believe with all military contracts and defense spending and then oil deals that are being done. I mean, a big part of Gaza is they want access to that coastline. They want to do offshore drilling.
But it's not just the Israeli lobby either. It's all of these different lobbies.
Right.
I mean, if you look at the Qatari lobby, the Saudi lobby, all of these Middle East lobbies put so much money into the United States. The difference, the big problem that I have with AIPAC is that they're not registered as a foreign lobbyist. The Qatari lobby is registered as a foreign lobbyist, so that you can tell where the money's coming from. You're like, okay, well, that's Qatari money.
Well, and they lobby in plain sight with,
Correct.
big bone planes,
Sure,
and the Saudis are just giving us $600 million deals as if, there aren't small nuances in there for people to get specific contracts to go to specific companies that are owned by this politician, or he's in bed with this family member who's also associated with that politician. Like, it's all wrapped up in this one convoluted scheme, honestly.
And we're all Americans, right? And this is my thing. Like, I've been around politics my entire life. My father, Alex Jones, I grew up at that office. I've spent more time in that office than any home I've ever lived in. I left it in 2020 with COVID because it was just all so bad. And I went off in the country. I lived there for a little while. And then I came back and I've been running my business for a while and been enjoying doing that. And that's been fun and good. But coming back to it, you look at the situation, it's like I woke up in this world where my government is occupied by foreign lobby money. And like, I wasn't fully aware of this. I thought it was just, a left-right dichotomy of people fighting over issues or pet projects, when really it's a money game. And you look at the amount of money that these people invest in the stock market would be a perfect example. What's your view on trading in Congress?
Well, I think that congressional stock trading should be banned.
I agree with you.
Let's
100%.
See if I have my second chart here for you.
Ooh.
Okay. So
always prepared.
This is our one of our congressmen that's running for governor right now, Mr. Donalds. So this is where he bought the stock, right here, and this is the current price of the stock. So
that's natural. That's good investing.
Yes, a price change of 101.53% since he purchased the stock is perfect.
Oh, he's beating Warren Buffett too.
They're all beating Warren Buffett.
They're all beating Warren Buffett. It's very convenient. One of the best stock traders in the world.
But
program set up to where you can follow trades. My bad.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. One of the things that bothers me is you look at these congressmen, and it's like, okay, he went to Congress and he's worth $40,000, and now 6 years later he's worth $5 million. That's not a natural progression.
Yes.
And the same thing with AOC in New York. I mean, you look at, she was worth $100,000 and now she's worth $21 million. This is not a natural progression. This is people that have.
I didn't know it was that big.
We
covered Marjorie Taylor Greene like a few days ago, and she went from 700K to like 31 million. It was like 3,400%. Yeah, 3,400% change. Like, all of them are doing the same thing. You're completely
right.
right.
Numbers. Wow.
I didn't know AOC.
They're all doing it though, and this is the thing. Ultimately, like, people can make promises for us that run for office and get elected, but ultimately, if you get in there and then ultimately it's just like a grift mill. We want to see people that are open, like you, like Fishback, from the jump, saying, hey, this operation's got to end, not just because it's immoral and it's wrong. It's bad for the country, and this is why we're not going to have a country anymore.
I 100% agree. I mean, my big thing is how, everybody says, how are we going to be able to trust you? Well, do you think I'm going to do any worse? I'm the one that shows up. I'm the one that shows up in the community every single day at every single event. I would be ashamed to the point of I would have to go bury my head in the sand rather than show up at these events and say, oh, I'm sorry that you can't afford gas and you can't afford groceries, but don't worry, I've got $22 million in the bank.
Right.
That to me is just un-American.
Question for you, Aaron. How do you protect yourself from getting absorbed in the swamp? Because not that you would do this, but I've seen a lot of people go in with good intentions, and then either the man in the black suit shows up or the system's such a mess that, like, it's hard not to just be like, if you can't beat them, join them. Like, how do you protect, your moral conscience?
You got an attack plan getting in there?
Yeah, like you're going to get bombarded with a lot of gridlock when you get in there.
Correct. So I think a good thing is the buddy system. Okay. So if I get there and it's just me, okay, it's just me. Well, I'm going to make Thomas Massey my best friend and be like, okay,
nice.
I'm going to be a little puppy dog. I'm going to follow you around everywhere. And when the man in the black suit comes, you better get your baseball bat out and have my back. But also, it's not just me running. There are three of us running basically together. Myself in the 6th Congressional District, Mike in the 11th Congressional District, Marcus in the 9th Congressional District. So we're all like this around Orlando. And, our plan is we're going to stick together. I mean, we're in this, and, if you look at it from the point of view of, you're responsible for the person sitting next to you. I mean, you each, you're not going to throw firecrackers at one another, and you're going to make sure that nobody throws firecrackers, across the table. You're going to be like this.
Right.
So my ultimate goal is to get 3 of us to Congress together. And if we all get elected at the same time, and we're all representing the same general area, then we'll be able to work on things, and we'll be able to have each other's back to the point of saying, okay, this really can work. I fly back and forth up north all the time. I fly my Spirit Airlines until they go out of business or they kick me off. I'm going to keep buying my $68 round trip plane tickets. And, that's the way I travel. It's
nice.
It's not that far.
Now
I think we like him, right?
I do. Honestly,
we like you.
That was the first time I have ever heard anyone answer a question like that with like complete honesty, but then also like a legit game plan, because everyone else just goes on and be like, well, I just wouldn't get corrupt. It's just, I'm too strong mentally to just do that.
But you're like, recognize this is a problem. We have a strategy, and we got to implement it this way. And I got a team of my buddies that we're all trying to get in it.
Yeah, that is hats off to you for that, because I wasn't expecting that as an answer.
Very cool.
Well, I think it's a reasonable plan. Because I understand it can't be that we keep sending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people and expecting a different result. Well, how do we make the result different? We have to change the approach. So if the approach is, okay, there's going to be a group of us, and if I start going out to the Capitol Grill for dinner, Mike and Marcus are going to be like, hey, Aaron, I thought we were supposed to be at Jimmy John's having Philly cheesesteaks tonight. And be like, what the heck are you doing, Aaron? And
flying first class,
right,
steak dinners.
And be like, Aaron, I didn't know you were going to Qatar for Thanksgiving. But,
just a little trip. It's not a big deal. Yeah. I mean, that's literally, that's how the corrupt politicians in our government, like they literally like, it's not a big deal. I just did this thing.
Yeah. Kind of like it do something small and then it like builds and stacks up. I don't think these people become corrupt overnight. I think they let their morals go for one thing, and then it's just this nice breadcrumb.
And then you look at some like Randy Fine, and we had the graphic up earlier. I might try to show it, where he's like, oh, they didn't need to pay me anything, referring to AIPAC. Like, they already had me here. I'm going to try to present this now. So proud to have been AIPAC's fastest ever endorsement. And to the haters that said they bought me, I have news for you. They had me for free. So he didn't even need to get paid. That wasn't too important for him. He was already on mission and on call for them. So, some people, they don't even need the money.
But, one of the big things, and a lot of people are like, well, how do you tackle such a behemoth? How does David beat Goliath? Go back to the special election. And in the primary, my cost per vote was about $5 in the primary. And Mr. Fine's cost per vote in the primary was $100. So
wow.
I said that after that happened, I just kept my mouth shut and I didn't say anything between then and the general election because I knew the House was close and we needed to keep that seat. Wanted to shoot myself. But I said I needed one of two things. I either need a lot more time or a lot more money. So literally, as soon as he got elected, I filed my paperwork the next day. I sent it to Tallahassee the next day. I'm like, I'm starting right now. And I'm going to go out there. I'm going to go to every single event that I can possibly go to. I'm going to get to know every single person across this district. I'm going to find as many volunteers as I possibly can. And right now I'm up to about 60 volunteers already.
Beautiful. Nice. And, beautiful. Let's go.
The election's 6.5 months away. So we have a plan to be able to knock on 100,000 doors. Sounds ambitious, but you take 100,000, you divide it by 60. Well, now you've got, people that need to knock on 1,500 doors. And you say, okay, well, we've got 20 weeks to do that. Okay, so you don't need to knock on that many doors. It's a simple numbers game because a lot of people think, oh, it takes millions of votes to win a congressional seat. It doesn't. The most number of votes that anyone has ever gotten in this congressional seat in a primary was Governor DeSantis when it was his congressional district, and that was 42,000 votes. So I don't need a million votes. The number that I'm looking for is 50,000.
Wow. So he's campaigning probably at the nursing home, and then you're out there hitting the streets. You got volunteers hitting the streets. You're doing everything.
He's not campaigning anywhere.
Oh, I was just say, don't you think he's probably just, sitting back vacationing, almost like he's got it in the bag and just thinking, no one's going to really be able to compete because I've got AIPAC behind me and Trump's endorsement and all that.
Well, and I mean, he thinks that the Trump endorsement is the end all save all.
It's not much these days.
However, if you look at the state of Florida and you look at national politics, and you look at the chairman of the Florida Republican Party, the chairman of the Florida Republican Party's done a wonderful job. I mean, he lost the city of Miami for the first time in 40 years. Great, take him out and tar and feather him. And if you look at on the national level, the RNC chairman who came from Florida, who used to be state senator, who also used to be, guess what, Randy Fine's roommate in Tallahassee.
Wow.
If you didn't know that, when they both served in the state legislature together. How many races have we won on a national level as Republicans since President Trump won? We've won 0 governorships. We lost New Jersey. We lost all 3 of the Supreme Court justices in Pennsylvania. We lost the governor's race in Virginia, and we barely squeaked by with a congressional win in Tennessee. That's it. So we took a Trump plus 28 district in Tennessee and pushed a candidate across the finish line by plus 13 or 14, whatever the final number was.
Yeah. I think part of it comes down to is, we always think that the country is just like completely on one side or the other. What I'm starting to realize on that silent majority that we talk about, a lot of people are like us, where we're kind of like in the middle ground, where we're just kind of going for like, we want somebody who's just going to do common sense, common sense, and actually going to fix the issues that we're running, that they were running on, and do what they say.
And prioritize us first. And like, that's what America first means to me. And I think that's what it means to you too, is like, hey, like we're spending all these hundreds of billions. Why don't we spend them on ourselves for a change?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Why am I driving down? Why am I driving through the 6th congressional district, and right where my office is, a lot of times there's a light right as you come out. So it's like my building is right here, and then there's a light right here. So a lot of times I can't get over to the turn lane. So I have to go down 1 block and then turn. And I mean, that road has not been repaved in 35 years. And
wow.
I'm like, driving down a road in Eustis, Florida, why can't we take care of ourselves? The Bible teaches us that we take care of our family, we take care of our neighbors, and we take care of our community. Well, we've skipped over taking care of ourselves, our family, and our neighbors. and our community. And we've gone the extreme of, okay, well, let's not take care of any of that. Let's take care of the rest of the world first. And I don't agree with it at all. I think we need people that understand, in order to save this country, we have to get back to a Christian value system in this country.
Powerful.
Yeah. I think you well spoken. Honestly, I wasn't expecting I was expecting for you to be well spoken, but I wasn't expecting some of the answers that I got where they're like very based and like just grounded in just common sense.
Very calm, deliberate.
The thing I can say I appreciate about you tonight is that you haven't tried to sound like a politician. I feel like I'm just talking to one of the boys and we're just talking about common sense issues. And this is exactly what we need more of in Congress, because at the end of the day, these people aren't like grown adults. Yeah. They're regular people, just like
real
us.
people in Congress. I think that's what that means.
At 9:42 at night, I usually don't have a bottle of water. I usually have a Corona sitting here.
Yeah.
Now, my last question for you would be, take the politician hat off. We're not running. What's your like personal life look like? What does the man behind the camera look like when no one's around? What do you like to do? Some of your personal things. What are your interests?
I am a very boring person. Years ago, I used to like to play poker, and then I got to the point where it's too slow, and I just keep sat there for the monotony of everything. Personally, what do I like to do? I like to read a lot. I like to learn. I like to continue to educate myself. Usually, not once a month, but once every couple months, I'll just reread the entire Constitution, and there'll be little bits, nuggets in there that you're like, huh, I never thought about something that way. So,
wow.
At the end of the day, I just want Florida to be the free state of Florida. I want my neighbors and my community to feel like, okay, this guy, I might not agree with him on everything. And I had a guy call me yesterday, and he's like, Aaron, I really don't agree with you on foreign policy. I said, well, and I won't tell you what his name is, but I said, well, I know you don't. And he said, but I know that if you're our congressman, you'll make sure we're taking care of us. And that's the country that I grew up in. That's
right.
I grew up, I was born here in Florida, but I grew up in the 1st Congressional District in Kentucky. So a very rural area on a 160-acre farm. And when I grew up, our congressman used to come to our high school and talk to us. And my grandfather owned a small family business. He had about 30 employees. And the congressman would come have lunch every once in a while. And when my grandfather passed away, Congressman came to his funeral. It was just a point in time where we could respect each other. I think with our current congressman now in the 6th Congressional District, the respect is gone. I was talking to one of the party officials in one of the counties, and I'm not going to say which because I'm sure it'll get back to whoever. And this person said, after this last meeting, they'd gotten 3 calls from people on Congressman Fine's staff, just absolutely berating this person for allowing myself and the other congressional candidates to speak. And, if I ever did that, or if I ever lost respect for the people, I hope that you put me in a boat and you take me out to the middle of the ocean and you just dump my body and leave me there, because we just need to get back to a point in time where we can respect each other.
Yes, that's very key and very true, and that's the cornerstone of everything you've talked about tonight. You've talked about where you stand, but at the core of it all, the way from it is that you want to be a public servant for your district, for your state, for your country. And like that's what we saw with Fishback, and that's what we're seeing with other people we want to talk to.
So refreshing to hear these things
really
from people who are running for office, and it gives me hope, honestly, because I've gotten to the point where I'm on the same thought process as you, where the fines were just a commodity at the end of the day. The Randy fines just look at the people as a commodity, and for you to run this grassroots, campaign and actually run on the
you're
things
doing it because you care.
Yeah.
You're doing it because you care and you want to be a public servant. You want to be there for your district, be a public servant rather than a public ruler, which is how these people behave.
100%.
And it's weird because the honor in the job is helping your community, helping your country, making other people succeed. But they get off on being in the news cycle and being the big talking head that's backed by the big special interests.
Right.
And like that's just a moment to talk about that. And then we gotta wrap up.
Yeah. I've had one veteran that I've spoken to on 3 different occasions now that I'm trying to get him help. And he lives in Daytona Beach. And he called me one day and he said, Aaron, I have called Congressman Fine's office 5 times and I have gotten 1 call back, and they just belittle me like nothing we can do about that. That's not the answer that I'm looking for. I'm looking for, okay, how can we help? And if this is not the right person, you have the balls and you pick up the phone and you call the assistant VA secretary and you say, hey, I need some help here. I've got a constituent in need. What can we do to make sure this is taken care of? That's the point that we have to get back to, where we're taking care of the people here.
Yeah.
100%.
We appreciate having you on the show here.
Thank you.
I'm glad you reached out to us, and I'm glad we got you on the show. I think we definitely need more of these dialogues. We need more of these conversations, and don't ever hesitate to come back.
Yeah, no, I think we want you back on in
sure.
a couple months, in a few months, once the race is a little bit more developed. We'd love to check back in with you and see how the campaign is going. I mean, we're really pulling for you, man. Like you convinced me, because I can just tell when someone cares versus when someone doesn't.
And you came prepared.
And you know what you want to talk about. So best wishes to you and your campaign, and we hope that you'll follow up with us. If we could,
where can people find your campaign? Go ahead and
my website's really easy. It's flaaron.com.
Okay, let's pull that up for people to see.
Awesome. And what can they do here?
So there are many different things that you can do. You can donate. You can send me an email to volunteer. I have a volunteer coordinator that if you click on messaging or privacy or contact, if you click on contact, it brings up all my information. That's my actual phone number. Guess what? If you pick up the phone and you text me or you call me, this is the phone you get. It's right here.
Nice.
Wow. Nice.
Nice. No smoke screens directly.
Yeah, people don't realize that, but people appreciate the ability to be able to talk to people. It's just a lost commodity in today's trading of human lives for nothingness.
Yes. And I think your accessibility and your accountability to your district will be the thing that makes you shine through. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. And please come back. We really had a great time.
I really appreciate you having me. Thank you both very much.
100%. God bless. And if I may, really quick, I'm going to reach out to you. Let's see if we can get you on InfoWars. Let's see if we can make that happen, if you'd be interested in that.
Absolutely. 100%.
All right. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Aaron.
God bless you both.
God bless you. Bye. Wow. That's incredible, man. I mean, every one of these guys we talked to that's independent, grassroots, super based, on target, nailing it. And, it's like you say, it makes you feel more positive about the future. And I know there's a lot of blackpilling that I do and whatnot, but if we were actually able to, and I think with the show, with the gray area, it would be a cool thing to do. If we were able to figure out these cool candidates these people that are coming up, be able to give them a platform, just tell people about them and give that message of, hey, like we're scouting out, like we want to find people like us that are just running for office.
Right. This is like the next wave. I think everyone understands they're tired of the system, and you got to pick from outside of the system. So if you guys want to support him, go ahead and check out his website.
And please support his website. Of course, if we're so lucky to be graced by someone tonight that lives in or around his area, if you can help this guy out, I mean, any single thing we can do to help a candidate like this that says, hey, you know what? I promise I'm not going to take foreign money. I promise, like I'm against foreign entanglements and stuff like that.
Right.
That's what we need to hear. And with him, with Fishback, I mean, Florida's got a lot of good options. I think they got a lot of good options. And even Ron DeSantis, and we criticize him and whatnot, like he ran that state real good.
He did.
You can't say Ron DeSantis did a bad job.
Net positive.
Yes, but you've got a big story, Tim. And even though a little sluggish today, I'm kind of waking up out of the fugue and having a good time. Take me where you want to go. What are we going to talk about today? What's on your mind?
I want to talk about Senate, Trump.
Ooh. It's all very Roman. I was going to say that on the I was going to say that in the interview, but I didn't want to bog it down or just like have a non sequitur. The Senate, the Congress.
Against the man, or it's like a the intros they do to the Star Wars. They're like Palpatine,
right?
So, let's go ahead and go
to it. Which one is it?
Second to.
I made a big mess here.
That tab.
There we go.
Okay, so scroll up on this. All right, so breaking: the U.S. Senate votes to advance war powers resolutions, reining in President Trump's actions on Venezuela, 52-47.
Big deal.
With several Republicans joining the Democrats, the White House confirms this would be vetoed. Republican yays: Susan Collins, Josh Hawley, Lisa Murkowski.
She's the Alaska one.
Oh, right. Rand Paul. And then you got Todd Young.
Good to see Rand Paul on the right side of history. And it happens sometimes. He's done some non-based things, but I mean, look, we don't like he said, like our guest just talked about us being there for over a year, right?
Yep.
Like that's I'm not okay with that. Are you okay with that?
No, definitely not okay with that.
And that's war at that point.
It makes no sense. Like, I mean, it does make sense.
To them. It makes total sense.
It makes sense, but it doesn't make sense, right?
Right.
So with that breakdown of 52-48, that bill is going to be forwarded. I don't know if there's any audio to this.
Video?
You can play it, see if there's anything here.
Yeah,
there's no audio.
It's just C-SPAN.
It's just guys just walking around.
So yay 52, nay 47. Look how close that is. I know it's always close. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just a kid talking about politics.
SJ joint resolution. So
98.
All the Democrats voted yes. The 5 Republicans voted yes, and this is enough to push an early vote.
Wow.
And then now now that that's happened. The bill basically says the president cannot use military force in Venezuela without Congress, and it's basically meant to stop this larger war from happening. So right now, there are no U.S. troops inside Venezuela. This most recent one was like a one-time operation, unless we need to go in for a second strike.
It's a special operation. Just let me get away with one. Let me do one.
But we still have those 15,000 troops that are still in the region, right? So the U.S. aircraft and ships are still positioned nearby. So why some of those Republicans voted yes? They're worried about the troops being sent later. They couldn't rule out the fact that Trump may actually take more military action. And then, once the troops are sent in, it's much harder to stop a full out, war or something else going on.
I did it. There. What do you want me to do? They're killing our guys now. It's a big problem. It's a big issue.
That's exactly what
literally.
So now let's go ahead and pull up this image here.
Is it the YouTube or is it the X? It's this one.
It's that guy. Yeah.
All right.
So this is kind of where the bill goes from here, right? So once the Senate passes the bill, it should reach the House within about 1 to 2 days. And then normally the House can take anywhere between 1 to 3 weeks to vote. Now, it could go faster, could go slower, depending on if they do any filibuster or anything like that. But there is no rule that forces the House to act. So the bill could either be delayed or never deployed at all. But even if, let's say, in a scenario where this bill does pass the House, right? It then hits the White House, it hits the executive branch where Trump has to sign it into law. Now, you saw in the last post that they're saying the White House has already confirmed they're going to veto. Of course, they would announce that. So now we know this is going to happen. So in order to override this veto, you would need to get 2/3 of the Senate to actually vote. And not just that, you'd have to get 2/3 of the House, of both houses.
It's not going to happen.
So if you look at the number, to get 2/3 of the Senate would be 67 votes out of 100. They don't even have
6-7. You can't escape it. It's everywhere. 6-7.
Gosh.
That's the new Rickroll. That's what that is. It's the evolution of it.
So they're about 11 seats short with that. So it require 11 more Republicans to flip. So that's very unlikely. So bottom line, even while this is going on, right, the bill has no legal power. So the president gets to keep his full authority, and they can still do military operations. They can still troops can be moved.
I like that. We're the same as any other world power. Like the Russians, they have the special military operation, which is a war, and then we have the what was the word you used? The 2 words you used?
What?
The military engagement. What's the word you use?
I said military operations too.
Yeah, it's an op. That's what I said to make it cool. They go,
they said special. We're military operation.
Yeah, it's an operation. It's not a war.
Right. So I mean, even if there's no troops in Venezuela, you've got 15,000 nearby, and then Congress is trying to slow this down, but it's not going to work. I applaud each and every single one of them for going out and doing this.
Right, and that's
because it's necessary.
Yeah, that's what people voted for, man.
And I want to cover what the I think it was Rand Paul said here in this video.
This one,
yeah.
All right.
I thought it was very well spoken how he broke this down for why they were going for this play and why he voted.
Beautiful.
Yay.
I'm glad. This is a good find, Tim. And just a shout out to Forbes Business, a great account to follow on YouTube. Breaking: Rand Paul lambasts feckless Congress, demands war powers vote after Venezuela attack. Let's check this out right now.
Mr. President.
No audio. Pause.
Really?
That's crazy.
How did this happen again?
Dude,
what did you do to fix it?
This is so annoying. We're gonna get a new software.
We're gonna get a new software, dude. We're gonna do the computer swap too. Let's do all of it.
It might be that.
Yeah, I think it's the computer.
All right, give us 1 second. Go ahead and yap a little bit.
I'm talking to CJ tomorrow. We'll just talk about the show. We have big plans for Gray Area in 2026, and like we're a lot more motivated. That's one. We have someone right who's helping us produce and helping us put out short clip. Phenomenal job at that. We're trying to do a studio upgrade. Guys are in here. We're trying to on the technical side, someone switch for us remote and not have to do a situation where outside of this room there would be someone on the computer. There are apparently ways you can do it virtually now. We're looking into stuff. And like, look at that. That's total honesty. That's total transparency. Like it's the company secrets that we've been working on. Right.
Yeah.
We got a lot of stuff coming down the pipe, and specifically Tim, like he's figured out a way to do it, and he's going to introduce me to that way to do it. But we're contacting these smaller, political candidates, these more independent figures across a variety of different genres of, punditry. Right. But we're going to bring them all on the show.
Let's see if this works.
Mr. President,
the senator from Kentucky.
Can you guys
I want to thank the senator from Virginia for leading this effort.
Can you guys hear it?
Yeah, can y'all hear it? We know y'all hear it.
There's likely no issue more important that confronts us as a nation, as a people, as a
really good video.
All you got to say is
yeah.
And you know what's crazy? Guys, do you know what's crazy? I literally it's almost like I turned off and turned it back on. Did you turn off the device and power it on again? That's all I did. I didn't even change the input. It was the exact same input.
Rex, would you have your dad promote your show on InfoWars? Maybe to a limited extent, but this is its own thing. And we're just like, we're trying to get good guests and stuff.
Yeah, we're still in our infancy stages.
This is still we're sub 50 episodes.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But we're getting up there now. It's episode 40.
He did a good job promoting the last one. I gotta give him hats off for that.
But this is an excellent video. This is a declaration of his anti-war stance.
The senator from Kentucky.
I want to thank the senator from Virginia for leading this effort. There's likely no issue more important that confronts us as a nation, as a people, as a Congress, than whether or not to send our young men and women to war. I take a backseat to no one in my disdain and loathing of state-sponsored socialism. In fact, I wrote a book, The Case Against Socialism, describing the historic link between socialism and state-sponsored violence. I wish the people of Venezuela well and sincerely hope that they will not repeat the mistake of electing socialists that have plagued the nation since the 1970s. Whether or not socialism is evil, however, is not the debate today. The debate today is about one question and one question only. Does the Constitution allow one man or one woman to take the nation to war without the approval of Congress? Full stop. That question is bigger than regime change in Venezuela, bigger than the claims that the ends justify the means, bigger even than the depredations and evils that multiple socialist autocrats have perpetrated upon the once great country of Venezuela. Even those who celebrate the demise of the socialist authoritarian regime in Venezuela, as I do, should give pause to granting the power to initiate war.
He kind of sounds like a pastor.
Yeah, very, very much so.
He sounds like a pastor. I can't unhear
well, he
that.
looks like one too.
To one man. The power to initiate war is so vast a power that it must be confined by checks and balances. The debate today would not be happening if our leaders read and understood the Federalist Papers.
Very true.
The constitutional power to initiate war is placed squarely on the shoulders of Congress. Current congressional leaders squirm and would like to shift the burden of initiating the war to the president. Less than courageous members of Congress fall all over themselves to avoid taking responsibility to avoid the momentous vote of declaring war. But
yeah, what are you saying?
And that's the thing. Ultimately, he's making the point of, hey, a big reason why Congress is kind of mums the word on this sort of thing is because if there's a vote on the floor, their opinion of what they're supporting is actually out there versus keeping it nebulous and having Trump take all the heat for things.
Yep.
Well, that's fine, right? Because no one's going to look at a little old Congress lady or little old senator.
I guarantee you there's probably that 11 that it would take for 2/3. There's 11 people in that room that are like, damn, I would vote, against this, but they're too afraid of what would happen if the thing didn't go through and then they become a traitor and they get pushed out like a MTG.
And not only that, they're literally like, I mean, if you remember Elon, it's just like, I'll give unlimited money like to whatever campaign as long as it's against X issue. And I'm just using him as an example, but there are other people like that with vast amounts of political capital.
Right. And they're afraid of losing their jobs. That's their well-being. That's their money. And some of these people are like, well, what else do I go do? If I don't have Congress, then I don't have anything else. So I might as well vote for the bad thing. So
spot on.
Make no mistake, bombing another nation's capital and removing their president is an act of war, plain and simple.
No, it's not.
No, it's a freedom operation. It's a limited freedom operation.
Randy, what you talking about?
Yeah, you crazy as hell, man. Crazy.
Randy, you drinking that Kool-Aid, bro. This is not how that works. We are doing a nice thing for the Venezuelan people. We are doing it to help them.
Yes, we play musical chairs with no music and someone has a gun, and if you stop dancing, we kill you. We kill you. And that's how Congress works.
Dance.
Yeah.
No provision in the Constitution provides such power to the presidency. No Supreme Court has allowed the Congress to abdicate its role in the decisions of war and peace, and no congressman of any self-respect will argue otherwise. Our leaders debated fully whether or not to grant this power to the president, to a man, from Jefferson to Hamilton, the spectrum of our founding fathers, they all agreed with the words that Madison wrote, that the executive is the branch most prone to war, and therefore the Constitution, with studied care, vested the power to declare war in the legislature.
He's right. The founding, yeah, the whole reason why the Constitution was created, the whole reason why you had these three branches was particularly they were afraid of this happening. And Trump, in real time, is like, I don't want to say bringing back the monarchy, but he's really showing the presidential powers. Because before, if I looked
no one was willing to do it.
No one was willing to do it. And the same thing, like Biden didn't have a backbone to like not do certain things or like to play hardball when it came to the Ukraine war. It was just basically bending over backwards and taking it. But when it comes to this, Trump's realizing he's just seeing how far can I go before someone tries to stop me. And you know what's weird, dude?
What's weird?
This whole system is actually exposing the fraud. I mean, not the flaws, not fraud. Sorry.
Well, it's exposing. It's a combo
but
deal,
but it's exposing the flaws, right? The Congress needs to do so much in order to actually counterbalance the president that it doesn't even work.
Right. Like the president can just go executive order, order,
right.
And then they have to take a vote and introduce a bill.
It'll take them more time to go and bring this all the way to the point where it hits the president's desk, where he's able to do anything in between there without it, because it's not in law, right? It doesn't freeze anything like a court order.
And then people will hear your point and they'll hear you talk about the Constitution and the checks and balances and it needing to be balanced and this being incorrect and it being a major problem. They'll go, of course we know that. We know about the Constitution. What do you think? It's cool. It's a cool thing that happened. It's cool. The bomb went off and we got Maduro. Duh. And it's like the erosion of our system is nearly complete. And people are so happy about it at this point because they've been trained to be happy about it. Like this is the only expression of toughness you can have because you're not winning at home. You're not winning at work. You're not winning at life. But Trump can go in there and fucking get a dictator.
But let me give you you can go back to us real quick. We'll come back to this video.
For sure.
Let me give you guys a quick analogy. Okay. We do this. We call this in engineering. So I work at a site where the site has been there around probably like 40, 50 years. Okay. A big problem that you have in engineering is when the site first opens up, they have a bunch of standard operating procedures and SOPs. They have a bunch of specific instructions and bill of materials and all these different things that correspond to items that were around or people or systems that were in place during the origin. 40 years later, those systems, some of them are still in place. And the problem is people are working around the system instead of actually addressing that this needs to be corrected.
And those old flaws are what kills it.
Exactly. So now the company right now is dealing with a lot of these old practices where somebody had an initiative and they decided for some reason this is how it should go. And it's slowing the business down to where it's not as profitable as it once was. And once you have that situation, you have to go back and look at, okay, where are my issues? Things change. Society changes. Technology advances. The founding fathers didn't have, an Apple iPhone in front of them. When they went to go create the Constitution, it was all pen and paper. So now that being said, it would take us so much. Our government is so inefficient. It would take us so much energy just to even amend certain parts of the constitutions or give nuances or to be able to correct certain things that it just.
I think the point that you made about the and now it just poofed out of my brain because Rupert farted again.
I know. I smell it. It's awful.
Damn it. Okay. Now you're closer to the epicenter, so I apologize. But go ahead and say what you were saying. I'll remember.
All I'm saying is like, the systems that we have in place would take so much energy and effort to actually go and change that it's like, what's the point? And no one wants to spearhead that too without there being a bunch of roadblocks and putting your whole thing on the line because they're people who made money.
And it really is just that basic thing of, oh, hey, he does the military operation, the war, whatever you call it. And then Congress has X period of time, like a week or longer before they actually have a bill and can respond to whatever happens. And then like, he's like, I was already out of there by the time you did that. That was already over.
Yeah.
And that's why
so they're constantly playing catch up. That's what's going to happen.
Constantly playing catch up. And it's like you have legislative, the judicial, and then you have the executive up on this ladder where it can't be touched, it can't be reached, and for something to happen, they have to climb all the way up there. But he can just lob
the only
real he wants.
I've noticed the only real check to his power is the judicial branch.
Yeah, is the court.
It really is the only thing, because they're able to, I've seen people come out with a lawsuit and then they're able to freeze things in real time until they actually get through the process. But the judicial system is also slow. A lot of these court cases will take even longer than a bill to go through Congress. So something's not right here. Something's not adding up. And Trump sees that all of these things are in place. And so he's like, let me just break things fast so that you don't have enough time to catch up to actually fix it.
Yeah. And it's that Silicon Valley Elon mindset of the moving fast and the breaking things. He's like, yeah, if I had the capability to do it, I'm going to do it. I don't care if it explodes.
And then we forget about the ramifications on what this means for a global stage. Like, even for us to sit here and consider Greenland as like the 51st state and saying that we're going to take control of them and absorb them, even though they're literally part of NATO through Denmark, is like, but it is just unfathomable.
We may do it though, and we may do all these things. And before the Venezuela operation, it's like, yeah, he talked about it. So what? And now you look at it like, shit, he talked about that a year ago, and now he's talking about it again. He's interested again. And why is that? I mean, he's feeling confident off all of these operations. I mean, the military, the CIA, all these people, they want more funding. They want the ability to go, like, they want to fight. I said it last night. It's just like, of course you're pro-war, bro. Like you want blood. Like, that's your job. And like, I'm not saying there's something wrong with that, but we have to be honest about what your intention is, right?
Yes.
And I think that's very clear to see that he's been influenced by those people that are like, Trump, you are the most badass military commander ever. You're better than Napoleon, George Washington.
Some people are appealing to his ego.
Yeah, and they're like, you are the greatest general, commander in chief. You are our leader. And meanwhile, they're leading him down the road of doing all these things. And I just think he doesn't care. Like, would you care? Like, you're one life.
No, I think we forget, right? Trump, if you look at his books, if you read some of his stuff and you just look at like his history, he's a man that doesn't forget. He doesn't forgive, or he doesn't forget.
Right.
You know? So a lot of the stuff that he went through during the Biden administration, I think made him a very hard and angry man.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he got so angry during that time period that, like, you put a man through court for that long and all these ridiculous lies that he's like, I don't care.
Well, yeah.
Burn it all.
And that's the thing that's so dangerous, though. And this is the real meta level stuff on Trump and just post-Trump and where we're headed with that Indianapolis footage and whatnot. You have, he created a political movement, and he created an extreme element of that movement that was matched by the left, or you could say the left was there and he matched it, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing these things like the prosecution and persecution of Trump, kabuki theater, like not legitimate stuff. They called him a Russian agent. He wasn't a Russian agent. They said he overvalued the Mar-a-Lago property and tried to throw him in jail for that. The indictments, I think we can largely say that that's BS. But people still believe, including a lot of people in that Minneapolis crowd, they believe that he's a Putin agent, imperialist Nazi.
No, and the things that he got indicted on or like prosecuted for, like other people are doing. A lot of people in the government inflate their numbers on business in Congress, and just in business in general. That's a known practice. I wanted to use that as a gotcha, bitch.
He got an overvaluation of Mar-a-Lago so that he could get a loan, which he then paid back in full. So, like, where's the harm? That was the argument. And then you look at Letitia James, and she was doing the same exact thing. It's the same exact thing. So there are areas like where I will defend Trump, and I think what Tim is saying is right. It made him a very cold, angry man.
Yeah,
and speak about that a little bit.
Yeah, he's just angry now, and I don't want to call him senile, but like you get to a certain age where, he's
withered.
He's
withered.
He's better than what the Biden was at this age, but there is a certain decline and where everything, like, just look at him on camera now. The guy looks exhausted.
He does.
You can't even tell me that, like, we get tired from this and doing a lot of stuff in the background. Multiply that by like 10
people
or 100.
People talking to you for 20 hours.
You're not even
sleep you get. People are also talking.
And
to you.
even in that 4 hours of sleep, you may not even get that 4 hours because they're doing some military operation over halfway across the world.
How is he alive?
Dude, it's a lot of coffee and I don't know.
Dude, maybe they do
a lot of coffee and cocaine.
Hold on. Maybe they do actually give everyone baby blood or something, right? Like the adrenochrome, like this is a known conspiracy theory because like, how do you function even with Biden, right? We saw a lot of different Bidens. You'd see Biden, he'd come out and he'd be like, yeah. And you'd see Biden, he'd come out and be like, I am activated. I am Joe Biden. Like the Terminator with like the whites of his eyes showing and all of that. And then you see Trump and it's just not the same Trump that we're used to, number one. But there are moments where like we watched the press conference he gave after the Venezuela strike and he's reading off the paper and he's like, yeah, no. Yeah. But then when the reporters are asking questions, he comes alive. He's like, yeah, he better watch his ass. So like there's still some energy there, but it's so drained and it's so misdirected. And I mean, obviously, like we've said on the show, like we think he's covering stuff up. Right.
It's not just the covering up, but I think his energy and effort is so spread. Like just take a step back and look at how many things are all going on at once at the same time.
It's impossible.
I don't even know. I can't even keep up with the news, but somehow he is like involved in the things, just like an Elon Musk running like 20 companies and different stuff.
And he's also on social media.
Posting.
Think about that. This president has definitely used social media more than any other president before. Like he's an iPad kid, and I tweeted that out about Trump. Like it's true. He's like, I watched The Invasion on my iPad Mini. It was really good. It was high quality.
They did good.
Like a Netflix movie. Yeah, that's what he said. He says like watching a show. So I guess that's what it all comes down to. And he really is, the perfect avatar for America. Like
in what way? Like
an elderly man, a rich elderly man who still has some power and some mojo, but it's the mask is slipped and it's just you're trying to plug a dam.
I think he would get a lot further if he tried the Xi Jinping method, where you get
the organ transplant.
Not that
the pig heart.
It's more so you strategically operate and you say things when you need to, and you say it in a presidential way, and then you attack when necessary. Like. You gotta understand.
That's a very deep point. I want to respond to that. That's
the whole time we forget that China has been quietly building their arsenal, and they've silently been hinting and making it very clear to everybody. And he just came out like a week or two ago saying we will be taking Taiwan,
and they're unified.
Sorry,
and yes, and they're unified, and we're not. Ultimately, you can look at their government and criticize it and say all manners of things about it. Ultimately, what do we have here? Every 4 years, we might get a new crackhead in charge, right? And then the Congress and the Senate are all bought off by the special interest groups, which prioritize foreign governments and then their own investments over the Americans they're supposed to serve, versus China, where you got a social credit score and you got censored internet, but the government is actually building a country for you and trying to do business for you.
Yeah.
Right. So like it's a thing as to where everything that Trump promised and didn't deliver on, the left wing, the communists, they will promise it too, and the young people will believe it.
And here's the last thing I'll say. I think there are certain countries, and for example, I'll give an example for like India, that are showing that you can gain power, you can make money, you can have an amazing GDP without like destroying everything in your path. Right? Like if you look at how a country like India operates, they're either like third or fourth in terms of GDP, and their purchasing power per capita is like pretty good for the average person. Like a lot of Indians, like you go there, they're living good lives. A lot of people are happy with their government overall, as far as what Modi's
because they have a more nationalist government now.
But also what India does is they don't really choose sides. They can operate where they're best friends with Russia, and they can operate where they're best friends with the United States. And they've had some scuffles with China here and there in the Himalayas.
It's a long history,
they've always come back to the fact that, like, guys, it's really not that deep. We should de-escalate. The only person that they really have significant systemic issues with is Pakistan, and that comes down to like things like terrorism.
We talk about the ancient borders,
mass killings, and a lot of the stuff that was created. And you can say that these colonialists had a good part to deal with a lot of the mess that was created in those environments, creating arbitrary borders and all these different things. But I'm just saying, you look at India, they're making money and they don't require to dominate another country in order to do it. You do it off of pure merit. And I'm saying we have enough brain power here in the United States. We have enough money. We have enough resources to actually do it the correct way and cooperate.
Really is about building back the industrial base. I don't think you do that by tariffing people 500%. I think you do that by giving the war money to people that are trying to do business and trying to feed their families. And I think that's a pretty rational solution. So,
and the last thing I'll say is that, like, because Russia and China don't really see like India as a threat, India gets to grow naturally without having like these natural enemies that like are trying to see them fall, or they're not interested in like being the biggest, baddest wolf. But those, I guarantee you one thing, China will probably surpass the United States, but then at a certain point, India is probably going to be number 2 in terms of GDP. I think we're going to keep falling and falling.
Makes sense off the scale of manufacturing. And I mean, we got regulations they don't have, and we've been stabbing ourselves in the foot for quite a long time. Yeah, very phenomenal.
I think it's a good show.
Yeah,
thank you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate every single one of you guys that have tuned in tonight with Aaron Baker. Really good interview. I will say it's given me hope.
Yes, and we're gonna clip it. And if you're a new viewer tuning in for the first time, even if it's just one of you, please follow Gray Area Talks on X, and then go to the YouTube or Rumble, whichever one you like. If you use both, sign up on both. Go ahead and subscribe to Gray Area Talks. That way, if you're watching this on X and you want to do other stuff on your device, you can go ahead and use Rumble, or you can use YouTube, YouTube Premium. It's really up to you. We appreciate every single one of you that tuned in tonight. Thank you for being here.
And Sunday is a good special. We have another guest coming on.
Sundays are always longer and better, and we always have a special guest, or are trying to at least always have a special guest, or we do a call-in feature.
Yes. So you guys definitely don't want to miss Sunday. Can we just quickly show our guest that's coming on real quick, just so that people have some context?
Sure. I'll pull it up.
He's very knowledgeable about the Middle East. A lot of the things that we're talking about, I will be asking him about. His name is
we're going to ask him a lot of questions about military technology in the Middle East, about Iran, Israel, about all this stuff. So you're going to want to be here. We follow him, don't we? Or I guess
I follow him.
This Gray Area Talks.
Yeah, that's Gray Area.
Okay, but yeah,
so
we're having him on.
Definitely want to tune in for that. Don't miss. He will also be here on at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. You guys can catch us before then, around 7:30, and then we'll also do our typical deep dive. Again, if you guys have not seen if you are new to joining, you do not want to miss Sunday. That is actually where we have everything jam-packed in the best information and the best guests possible. So thank you guys.
Thank you very much. God bless. Good luck, and have a great night. Peace.
Modern life has left us out of balance. Long ago it was once said, certain remedies could grant a man the vitality of a horse. For over 6,000 years, these natural remedies have been harvested and tested by generations. Why create complex formulas when nature's roots are still in our hands? Try Primal Core. Ancient remedies for modern life.